So this cart has been on Marketplace for a month, half, 2 months maybe. I have not got a single hit on it. Not a single hit. I fixed it. I mean, it's got an All-Trax controller. I put a 48 volt lithium battery in it. Did a 48 volt conversion. This thing runs like 32 miles per hour. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this cart beside the body, and that's probably what's keeping a lot of people from wanting it, is it's ugly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wheels and tires, it's not my favorite either. You know, these bad boys, I keep looking at them every time I come out because I have these in the back of the house. And these are my 18s on my 30s. The tires are basically brand new. So, last week I ordered a lift kit from work. This is gonna be the Rhox BMF 7-inch A-arm lift. We had this on the Cushman a long time ago, and the Cushman had 33s on it. And I said, if I can't sell it, I might as well keep it and build something. So that's what we're gonna do on today's video. We're gonna get the 7-inch A-arm lift kit on that ugly Ezgo. These seats here are just your regular Ezgo TXT seats. They use like a vinyl dye spray paint and spray painted them black. We're gonna get rid of these right here. And I'm also gonna get rid of these as well. Got some Ezgo premium seats that I've had in storage for quite a while, on my back patio. And we're gonna use these right here on that cart. If you're wondering, are we gonna keep the body? No, we're not gonna keep the body. Because I have multiple parts to a, was this a Magic storm body kit here? I never did a storm body kit, but we might do a little spray. We're not gonna do everything on today's video, but we're gonna get it lifted with the tires and wheels on it. We might even get the body off of it today. I'm not exactly sure. Let's just get started. Don't you love it when it just gets done raining and the sun comes back out? Hello, humidity. Thank goodness for a workshop. Here's what inside of the Rhox looks like as they ship it. This is it. It had another piece of styrofoam. I'll put it over there. It comes, you know, 40, 50%, 60% put together. They give us a rack and pinion. Got some hardware, shock absorbers. This time I got a installation manual. The last time I did this was a few years back. I didn't even get that, so turning out good so far. I wonder which shocks these are. They feel like the really heavy duty ones. And if I remember correctly, on the old ones I had, things are super stiff. And these right here look the same. So these right here are definitely strong enough. It's like it's like Jake's. Their shocks are too soft. These are a little bit too stiff, but coilover shocks. Not exactly saying that we're gonna keep these on there forever, but we're gonna put them on there on today's video. Probably just gonna remove these right here rocker panels just so we can gain access to underneath the mat, because we need to loosen. There's gonna be 3 bolts per side for the leaf springs that the Rhox is actually gonna replace. I got these right here, rockers off. This piece of wood was behind this section. That little piece was behind that section. This one didn't even go through the metal or have a nut on it. This one did. That's the only thing that was really holding it. But I mean, I love the thought process of, you know, spacing it out to make it match the body there. But at the same time, I would not have used wood. Just to prove to y'all I'm not lying. Same process. Another piece of wood here. Anyways, I did that to gain access to those 3 bolts there. There's gonna be 3 over there as well. So we can drop the leaf springs now. And the only thing we should have to disconnect is the leaf springs, the shocks, and maybe the steering shaft. But that should be it. All right, back to front on stands. Went ahead and removed the tires and the wheels. Went ahead and removed each hubs. We're gonna use those on the new kit. Next, we need to drop the leaf springs, 3 bolts each. I believe it's a 5/8, I believe. Shocks, I think it's a 1/2 inch, or it could be 7/16. I don't remember, and I think the steering rack rod here might be a 1/2 inch as well. Front should just come down. All right, front end is apart. That's exactly how it came apart. 5/8 on the leaf springs. 1/2 inch bolts here and 1/2 inch here and there as well. So got that down, got that off. Next, I would love to come in here and clean it now, but I'm gonna have to wait till we get it done to pressure wash it. All right, so I got the whole thing assembled. However, since it's the next morning, I had to go to the hardware store, get some different bolts for the rack and pinion. And I had to get these 1-inch spacers as well because it would not fit with the tie rods into the spindles. It was too much of an angle. It was binding and it would not work. So I spaced it out and it bolted right up. All right, front kit is on. I still need to adjust the tie rods, the camber, and the steering wheel, but everything is on. I went ahead and put the adapters on there. Let's go get those wheels and tires and throw them on here on the front. Front end definitely needs to be adjusted some. However, the toe doesn't look so bad right now. To be honest with you, I'll measure it here in a little bit. Still need to adjust the steering wheel, tighten some things up. But the 30s fit fine. I wasn't really worried about the 30s fitting. We had this same lift kit on the Cushman. I'll place it here on the screen, but I had 33s on it. I think that looks a lot better than those small little 14s and low pros. Let's get this right here back, put on now. Went ahead and took the wheels off the back, jacked it up, put it on stands. The blocks now are so much nicer than they were before, so much more heavy dutier. I don't remember the blocks before having this right here centerpiece in there, so that looks a little bit better, but that's our flip kit for the rear. So when I got this cart right here, it came with like a little 4 or 5 inch lift kit and some HD springs for the rear. I might use the HD springs in here. I'm not exactly sure just yet. I wasn't wanting to, but I might. We'll see right here how these bushings look. If I have to remove the whole leaf spring to replace the bushings, I'm probably just gonna replace the leaf spring as well. Well, moment of truth. Little 30s fit on the back of this right here with no modifications, just a flip kit. Let's find out. Well, that looks a lot better. So adjusting the camber is pretty simple on these right here. You can actually put the jack under it just a little bit, and you can pull this right here and bolt it out, and you can actually lift this right here up, and the shock itself is gonna keep it standing up. Turn this in or out, put the bolt back in it to adjust the camber. I usually use a square to check the camber, but the 30s are just too big for that, so we might have to resort to a level. All right, so I got a level. I don't have it on the ground. I just have it on the tire itself, and it looks like our bubble is off, so I need to adjust it some more. All right, now on the ground, and our bubble looks to be in the middle there, so this right here side is good. I'm gonna repeat this same process for the other side. All right, so both of them, the camber sits just right now, and I think I started adjusting the toe during the installation a little bit, but the same thing goes. I have that toe video last episode. However, on these, you have a jam nut. You can loosen the jam nut, and then on your rod here, you can slowly turn it in and out, so you don't have to take this right here back out. And then once you like it, you just jam it right back down. Pretty simple. You can do that on both sides. Last thing you need to do is be sure the steering wheel is turning both directions the same number of times. And in our case, this one, we pretty much lucked out. This is centered, even though the steering wheel is upside down. We can just take the steering wheel off, flip it upside down, bolt it back, and we're good. But let's go to the right here. That's half, that's 1, and that's what, like 1 and almost a half, but not quite a half. So centered, half, 1, not quite 1.5. So we pretty much lucked out on this one here. And I'm not gonna modify the suspension or the toe any on that. We're gonna leave everything just like it is. Next thing I'm gonna come in here and do, I'm not probably gonna keep the steering wheel on here very long, but for the time being, and I might, I'm not exactly sure, I'm gonna come in here, take these right here screws off, flip it upside down, right side up, and bolt it back on there. Last things we need to do, we got everything tightened, grease these Zerk fittings here. I think that's the only 2. I'm gonna have to look around just to see, but we gotta do that, and that's it. Put the cotter pins in the tie rod ends, and we're good to go. So I'm using this CC electric grease gun here, and it automatically came with that latching adapter there. Got that side done, need to wipe it off. This makes it so much easier. Just hold it, let it do its thing. You can see it, you hear it starting to build pressure. And it's starting to come out there at the bottom, so we're good. Okay. This was sent to me through TikTok, because I do TikTok shop videos over there on the TikTok. I don't really do a whole lot of other content other than shop videos, because it's just a way to make money. I've been using the mess out of this right here tool brand, CC. This one came with 2 batteries, a charger, 3/8 impact CC. I got a drill, I've got a couple 1/2-inch impacts, and these things are no joke. I just don't know where I put them all. Anyways, these things, I'm not gonna lie to you, these things work. Side grinder, there's one small 1/2-inch, hammer drill, there's regular drill. My son uses the mess out of the 1/2-inch because he's always changing wheels and tires on his trucks. Anyways, I'll place a link to this right here tool brand down below in the video description. Check them out, get something different. It doesn't matter, I'm not trying to sell you this. I'm just showing you what I've been using. All right, well, I pulled it out, carried it around the neighborhood. See anything? Look at that camber, so much positive camber now. So we need to go back in with it a little bit, and I need to unravel this boot here. My goodness. I don't know why it's so flippin' tight when they have you adjust the tie rods. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. I got my makeshift alignment with 2 levels. All right, is another way you can do it. And up front, I'm at like 38. I think 38. On the back, I'm like 45. So I think that's a little bit more than a quarter off. So I'm gonna try to get in here and loosen some things up and see if we can work on some things. All right, let me show you what I got here. I'm just putting it right here. I'm like at 50 and 7/16 on the front. On the back, I'm like 50 and 5/8. That's pretty daggone close. Now, we don't want them to move any, and we want to be able to adjust the tie rods in or out enough to get them set in place. So anyways, we got to get this right here centered before we drop the tie rods in place, so we have equal lengths to turn to the right and to the left. We're gonna try this again. I have not adjusted the camber just yet, but I got my tie rods so much closer than before. I mean, they're just about all the way in on both sides, where before I had them out like a ½ inch per side. So no wonder it was not riding good, I believe. But let's see what we got now. So this thing actually rides good now, other than the bumpy road. These tires never rode good because they're so hard. They're made for a truck. But ride's pretty good. Can't really complain for what it is. I mean, it doesn't weigh a thing hardly. And then you put these street mud tires on here for a truck. I mean, it is what it is. But it's pretty good. Going up to work, shoot some drone footage for them for an advertisement or something. And anyways, we'll catch y'all on the next one.